All right, here we are back at the Gadget Spot.
Hey guys.
Hi.
We're all here.
I'm awake.
We're
Coming at you Labor Day.
Labor Day weekend.
For
We're
us.
doing an early show on Labor Day at starting at 9 a.m.
Yeah, I've got to pack up and get over to RC Willie and buy something.
Well, the free hot dogs
I
are
don't-
the big
yeah.
draw.
What are you buying?
I don't know.
They have free hot
But
dogs.
they
at
got all
RC
these
Willie?
advertisements of deals. I feel like I'm missing out if I don't go over there and see something and buy it.
Can I just walk behind you and see what you do?
Is it
Yeah.
the big outlet RC Willie that's over by IKEA?
There's a
Yeah.
bunch of RC Willie.
Yeah, that's the new one. That's
Oh.
like that's almost embarrassing that they built that right next to IKEA.
I love buying things or watching people buy things. I just like spending money.
There's probably a YouTube channel for that.
Oh,
There's got to be. Well,
You could just watch somebody buy something. My kids watch other kids play video games. I think it's the most weird thing.
You'd be surprised what people stream.
Yeah.
I've seen streamers mowing their lawn before,
Yeah.
and people tune in to watch
They
that
do-
stuff.
there's
You're
something,
like 1.5 million views.
something relaxing about watching someone do yard work.
Yeah.
And they'll all get more views than we'll ever get on any of our videos.
Well, yeah.
That's what's most disappointing. Who were we watching earlier? Dougie?
No, Boogie 2988.
Yeah, him.
It's just his
He was just.
Dougie.
He was literally just talking about.
He's talking about
heart disease.
Nope, he's talking about his life, things that he's been up to, as well as he just went through gastric bypass surgery.
Okay.
And
What?
So, yeah,
How can he be the same angry large man?
that's going to
with-
be weird.
It's going to be strange. He'll just be a normal angry person, which is not as funny.
That's kind of what I think, and I think he's a little bit worried about it, too.
Oh,
So he's literally
that's
just
what
sitting
made
there
that
like,
interesting.
I took my medication, and when I took my medication, and he has 200,000 views on that one video already.
Yep.
That is more.
Also,
views.
he has a lot more mic and screen presence than what you just gave him credit for. This.
Well, kinda.
Oh, he's
But
a lot
like-
more than that.
But outside of the corporate YouTube channel that I help run, I will never get that many views. But on the bright side, my
don't
corporate,
sell yourself short, James.
my corporate YouTube channel just
'Cause
hit 1
you are
million
tall.
views. So that's a way to turn a frown
have you
upside
seen
down.
Have you seen your videos? They're pretty good.
Yeah.
They're okay.
Which videos are we talking about?
All of them.
Oh,
Let's be
I like-
honest. Let's be
and-
honest. That's why you're here right now
and-
because of your video capability.
And
Let's be honest.
And James's new campaign, those shorts you're doing are pretty funny.
dude, I'm really excited about this Wednesday. Oh, can we do introductions so I can put my stuff?
I guess we can do introductions.
Cool. Can I go first?
No.
No.
Owen.
Hey, I'm going first. James. So always Owen first.
I'd give you a nasty look, but you've already got one.
Oh,
I
that's a
can-
good one.
I feel like that was from a website.
I could take it.
Shut it, Owen.
Oh, I see.
Tony-
he has a webpage of insults pulled
Tony
up.
says that I need to stick up for myself more, so I got a page of comebacks up.
That was a good job.
If we're gonna be two-faced, at least make one pretty, Tony.
Actually, literally does have a page of
Yeah.
insults on his computer right now.
I love what you've done with your hair. How do you get it to come out of your nostrils like that, Tony?
It's
Joke's on
Okay,
you.
the-
I wax my nose hairs.
These are
There's
getting
nothing
worse.
in there.
Just finish your intro, Owen.
okay.
Gosh dang it.
Hey guys, I'm Owen. Follow me on Twitter for the occasional knowledgeable / informative tweet.
You
Maybe
never tweet.
exactly.
The only time
I
you tweet
said-
is when I tell you to tweet.
I said occasional. Very occasional.
Whoa. We're dealing with morning Owen right now. He's testy.
Okay, fine. I will rephrase. A rare tweet at Jaren's behest.
What happens is Owen puts something into the chat, and I say, "That's a good tweet. Tweet that." He's like, "Okay."
Oh, neat. Okay. Because I just post stuff into the chat, and I'm like, hey, guys, check out this very interesting thing. And they go, that's actually very interesting for everybody. You should post that.
It's true.
Except for that only happens when I don't talk about crypto mining. Anyway, so at Technoan, you can follow me on there and get some more of me. That's it. That's all I have. I haven't been playing any video games. The summer's been super busy, so
Okay. Jaren.
that's all.
Jaren's sick today, and
Hey,
I'm sitting across from him.
This is Jaron, and I'm sick today, and I'm sitting across from James.
You're right under the fan, so it's kind of like pulling it right
Yeah,
into
I'll
you.
be sick in a day and a half.
Aren't you
That's
going to,
how it works.
Don't you have some very
Yeah,
important
I'm going
social?
to the One Republic concert
Yeah, that sounds like
Wednesday
it's
that
gonna
we
be-
dropped big money for.
Wait,
that we got.
is that the one with Harry Styles?
I don't know.
Doesn't sound
I
like
think
so-
no. It fits in the tantrums.
It probably won't be that fun when you're sick.
Never mind.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna make your hands clap.
Oh, they're opening for them?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're
Fits in
okay.
the Tantrums is a band that like you don't know, but you actually know a lot more of their songs.
No, I
You
know
just
Same
that.
with
don't know
One
the name.
Republic. The guy from One Republic writes a ton.
Dude, he writes
other
for like
people.
Beyond. Sorry, I didn't. Okay.
Yeah, so James is stealing everybody's intro today. This is Jaron at Jaron Jarron on Twitter.
Coolest name ever.
Thanks.
Yep.
Thanks.
On Twitter. Coolest name on Twitter.
Oh.
Yeah. Don't.
Oh.
It's not like I'm going to name my next kid after you or anything.
Don't get a big head already.
Yeah, I'm super
Coolest
jealous
Twitter
of your
name.
Twitter handle.
Thanks, everybody. This makes me feel really good about myself.
Yeah.
So lately, I've been playing Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. That is
Is that an expansion
cool
to the game,
game.
or is that a standalone game?
both.
Yeah, it's both.
It's an expansion, but it's also standalone, and it's like 3/4 of a normal Uncharted game
Lengthwise.
lengthwise. Even has a multiplayer.
So does
section, so-
does the Uncharted series go like sequential? Is it like Uncharted, Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3, and then whatever this new one is, or is one like a prequel to the other ones?
No,
How
so
does-
this one doesn't have Nathan Drake at all. It just has 2 side characters in previous games.
do you feel a
they
little
team
bit
up?
abandoned that Nathan Drake isn't in it? Do you feel
No,
like
I
a
don't.
hole?
I mean, of course,
I thought your
I'd
quest in life was to become Nathan Drake.
it is, and I'd wish I'd have more of him. all
James,
the
it's
time.
not your turn.
Sorry.
Shut up.
Anyway, so this one stars Chloe and Nadine, but it's good. It's fun. I'm on level 4 right now, which is like a open world light kind of level. It's a really big level, but it's fun. It's a good game, and it doesn't feel half baked. It feels like a full Uncharted game to me,
Full baked.
fully baked. So yeah, I've been playing that, some Sonic Mania a little bit here and there, but that's it
Nice.
for me.
All right, James,
I'm
it's your turn.
What's up? My name's James. You can catch me on the Twitter at JDD Jensen. JDD is for ADD,
ADD.
obviously. Or you can catch me on Xbox One. I'll probably be hopping back in here pretty quick. Ever since I saw those previews for the new Star Wars Battlefront game, Battlefront 2,
Oh, those look so
and then
good.
bringing the space battles back. That was my favorite part about Battlefront 2, the original one. Oh, so
well,
good.
they did have space battles in Battlefront 1.
Were they in
Did they?
space? I thought they were down on
In the
on
expansions, there was
atmosphere.
some stuff in space.
Oh, I never played any of the expansions.
But this definitely looks a whole lot better.
You can catch me on my I do videos for Geek Show, also for here at Gadget Spot. I also started another web series called RDPOV, that stands for Red Devil Point of View. I get together with my buddy John, and hopefully sometime I'll get you guys in on it. But I do like little shorts in the same vein as Vine, so
They're
hopefully
fantastic.
we can keep them under a
Same
minute.
vein as Vine.
Vine.
Yeah.
Vine.
So I'll let you guys in on it. This next week's video I'm doing, it's called Jurassic Ginger. And I'm going to be a Steve Irwin type character. And I'm going to be in a jungle setting looking for gingers. And I'm going to spot one. And I'm going to be like,
I spot one.
Look at the ginger in the wild. And then, camera on me, camera back in the wild. It's not going to be there anymore. I'm going to be like, where did it go? And then I'm going to pull back a little bit. And he's going to be right next to me. I'm going to be like, clever girl.
Clever girl.
So
Tony,
now-
Tony
shoot
looks,
her! Shoot her!
Tony looks really offended.
That is incredibly offensive.
He's a ginger. He's doing it with me.
So, what about all the rest of us gingers out there? Jokes.
Shoot her!
My only offense to this is, why didn't you ask me to be your ginger?
Do you want to be in it?
No.
Well, I just
There are more than there are more than 2 velociraptors in that scene.
I'm not gonna
There's
lie.
There's the one he sees, and then that's the one that's like, look at me. I'm a
Actually, if you
velociraptor."
want to be in it, let's talk afterwards. We're going to shoot it Wednesday night, and I could use another ginger. I just didn't know what your schedule looked like.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. Let's see. What else was I going to pimp? What I'm playing right now, it's kind of embarrassing, but so I'm trying my hardest to not buy that new Mario Rabbids game.
Oh, yeah. I want to buy that game, too, for some reason.
Yeah, I talked to Tony, and I told Tony, and he kind of talked me off the ledge. I was telling him, like, I want to buy it because not only does it look good, but I also need a reason to play the Switch. And what did you say, Tony?
You should never try to fabricate reasons to play a console.
And
Just play games
Then I
you
wouldn't
want.
ever play the Switch, then.
Just play games you want to play.
And I've been burned twice by...
Yeah,
Splatoon is fun. That's the thing. It's not a $60 game, but it's fun. But ARMS is a waste of time and money.
That's how I felt when I got 1-2 Switch in my original Switch bundle.
Yeah, but that
I
one
took it
wasn't even
back.
$60, right? That one was
It was
still...
40.
Yeah,
still
that's-
way
and then you-
overpriced.
But you took it back.
I took it back.
Yeah.
And I've been playing... wow. So...
I speaking to
Wait,
that,
wait,
I think the Switch hype...
Hang on a sec.
Hey,
He just said he's been playing WoW.
I have a little bit.
What?
So I turned it
World
on.
of Warcraft.
Oh,
I
I
turned it
thought
on.
that was the word wow.
No. I turned it on, and I'm still under the free level cap, which is I think 20.
Yep.
I started a
I
night
think so.
elf hunter on the Windrunner.
I thought you needed more time in your life, not less.
Well, that's the thing is I opened it up and I've played it like 3 times. I maybe have put 4 hours into it.
Because if you think of the ultimate time sucks, everything is just a clone of World of Warcraft. All these MMO games are kind of...
And see,
Which was started out as a clone of a game called EverQuest.
Yeah.
Which started out as a clone of a game called Ultima.
Woo! That's my jam that
See,
I've wasted most of my life on.
and that's what's so intriguing about World of Warcraft is like up until this point I haven't really ever dived too deep into World of Warcraft, and it has such a deep world and deep lore, and it's so like rich as far as like character development and stuff like that. But it is kind of overwhelming, and I don't know if I'll actually get into it.
That's okay if you do.
Anywho, did you guys know we have a host?
We do.
Tony!
Hi.
Hey, Tony.
It's me, Quad T Tony. That's my Twitter handle, Quad T Tony. Or I'm always right here on the Gadget Spot. Or you can check me out on the Geek Show podcast. I have been playing...
You are a joke ninja on Geek Show, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
You insert yourself. I noticed that because you guys recorded yesterday, and like the stuff you were saying was so offhanded and out of nowhere. I love it.
I love non sequiturs and things like that. Yeah.
Well, and I sit directly across from you.
So you see it happen.
Well, it's kind of funny because everybody's facing each other, but you're like on the end of the table.
Yep.
And so like when you tell a joke, it like shoots through people.
King Tony.
Actually, it's running the board, Tony.
Oh.
Because I need more space to have the board and the laptop and everything.
Isn't that the king?
Sure.
He who controls the volume dials.
That's a good
You
point.
have exercised that power
I'm the
over
king.
Jaren many times.
Indeed, I have. Right, Jaron?
And he's got the kingly beard, and the way he just said, "Indeed, I have," sounded very kingly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nolan,
Indeed.
thank you. So the games I've been playing, Dragon Age Inquisition, and I have reached the point in that game where I could end it at any time.
How many hours are?
I've only put, I think, 60 hours into it. Jaren, how many hours did it take you to beat Dragon Age Inquisition?
Over 100.
Oh, man, I'm so much faster and better than he is.
Did you guys actually
yeah,
enjoy
okay.
that game?
I really like it quite a bit.
I liked it.
I've hit the point where I'm at that last story quest where it says if you go any further, it's the end game content. So get anything else done you want to do.
So you finally got into the red something castle?
Yeah, somehow I missed when Redcliffe opened up, but I was like, what the crap? I'm on the last level and I still can't get to Redcliffe. So I went over to Redcliffe and it was open. So I just
How long's that been that way?
Exactly. So I'm finishing up some side quests. I want to go fight some dragons, and then I'm going to do the end game.
Have you beat any dragons yet?
No, just the one that's part of the story.
Oh,
where
come
you only beat it
on.
halfway or whatever.
I beat all 10.
I'm going to
You're
find him. and beat him.
losing. You're losing over here now.
I know, that's true.
He's put more time in
But-
and killed more dragons.
I have the respect of Owen.
I actually looked around for dragons in that game for a while, and I couldn't find them anymore.
Yeah, they're pretty well hidden.
How did the dragons in that game compare to like the dragons in Skyrim?
They're harder to kill.
I've never played
At
Skyrim.
least in my experience. I mean, I leveled my Skyrim character up so much that I could kill a dragon with like 3 arrows. It wasn't even really a challenge anymore.
Really?
The dragons in Dragon Age Inquisition are pretty hard.
That's my way of gaming. I grind until I'm
Yeah.
overpowered. That way, the game's fun.
And you just
I mean, easy.
steamroll
I mean,
everything.
fun.
I know what you meant.
Yeah,
Easy fun.
easy fun.
So that's what I've been playing mostly. I think that's actually really the only thing I've been playing for the last 2 weeks or so. So, oh no, I take it back. I started playing the Killing Floor because I got it for on my Humble Bundle monthly pack.
What's that?
The Killing Floor 2.
Never heard of it.
It's kind of like Left 4 Dead a little bit, where you fight zombie things with lots of guns, or the zombie mode in Call of Duty. But the cool thing about Killing Floor that I enjoy is, first of all, the graphics are nice and pretty. But secondly, there's like 9 different classes of characters, and you can level each character class up and get different perks. And I don't know what it is, but I love being able to level up your character. I love being able to gather the good gear and level your character. And there's something about that just really clicks with me.
To me, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Well, yeah, there's definitely times when it doesn't work, but more often than not, for me, it's a good thing. And that's what I like over games like Left 4 Dead or what was the other one I said? Oh, the zombie mode on Call of Duty is every time you start a new game in those, your character starts at 0. And so There's really no character progression.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what I've been playing.
See, my favorite kind of thing with that is Borderlands nailed it, man.
Oh,
that kind of
Borderlands
leveling
was
up.
so good. The leveling up and the loot system in Borderlands, in my opinion, and I haven't played all the RPGs out there, but in my opinion, it's the best one out there.
Oh, yeah.
Best leveling up system, best loot system.
I know this is unpopular, but I did not like the leveling up in Rise of the Tomb Raider.
I've never played
I thought
that
it was
game.
good. I mean, it wasn't the best, but I thought it was good.
I always thought that it was weird in the original Tomb Raider that you would go into a crypt and you would find ammo.
That is weird. Yes. That's the same thing in Uncharted.
Hey, no. Leave Uncharted out of
It's
this.
the same exact
The deal
thing.
with Uncharted is either people from like 80 years ago found it and they died, so you pick up like a really old gun, or the enemies get there before you, so they drop theirs.
I hope that
Yeah,
they
I don't think so.
reference
Yeah,
that in
that's
like
it.
the Uncharted movie. Like Nathan Drake's like, hey, look at that. I found some 9mm bullets. And then somebody's like, who
Yeah,
left
exactly.
that here? And he's like, I don't know. Let's not question it.
Oh, I have a 9mm pistol, but
There's no way it's going to be that self-aware.
but this cave that no one's been in for 200 years has some 9mm bullets right here for me. Oh, perfect.
Time travel.
No, it was Nazis, okay, and they left their Nazi handguns, okay?
Time travel. That's all you got to
Well,
understand.
Okay, there you go. Well, let's take that a step further. What the heck kind of gun and ammo after sitting there for 90 years in a dank cave works?
If anyone could do it, it's the Nazis.
None of them.
Nice usage of the word dank.
It's
Yeah.
only been sitting there for a few minutes because of time travel.
Owen's right.
Most of my problems are solved by the time travel theory. Like, why did that happen? Time travel.
Obviously.
What has happened here in this weird, unexplainable situation? Time travel.
Why am I a failure in life?
Time travel. Boom. I'm just waiting for future Owen to come back and be like, here, dude, invest in this. That's what I'm waiting for.
Ow.
I thought I already did with cryptocurrency.
Nope, that didn't work out. That was
No,
not.
that's ruining his life.
That was not future Owen coming back. That's a cruel joke.
Do you guys ever think in your mind, like, okay, what happens if one day I wake up and it's 3 years ago, right? It's like, do I need to memorize these lottery numbers? Do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? Cryptocurrency is my actual like thing that I remember. It's just
Yeah,
like, okay,
that's
if I
the
ever
one.
wake
Yeah.
up in 2008,
Buy some Bitcoin.
buy some Bitcoin.
That's the
Mine-
easy one for sure.
Mine are the I do the websites. I remember websites. I'm like,
Invest in Yahoo.
yeah,
Invest in and,
Wasn't
and
that a-
sell and sell Yahoo.
yeah.
Wasn't that like a Back to the Future thing or
Invest-
something like
yeah.
Yeah, well, he had a
Yahoo or
no. In Back to the Future 2, Morty McFly brought back to his current timeline a
almanac.
copy of an almanac that had all the sports scores.
oh, there's a movie that I'm
You said
thinking of.
Morty McFly.
There is.
did I?
There is a.
I
There
meant
is a movie
Marty.
where he's like, invest in
Yahoo.
Yahoo.
And then on his license
I want to say it
plate,
was something
said,
like
Yahoo.
frequency. It was at frequency.
Maybe it was frequency. Yeah, it might have been frequency.
The movie
That was a good
Frequency.
movie.
Well,
Oh, I saw that.
the funniest version of that came from Hot Tub Time Machine.
Oh,
They
I never
go back
saw
in
that
time, and one of the guys actually stays back in time in his younger body because they go back in their younger bodies, and he
Oh, wait, no. Doesn't he
basically
copy people's songs?
he starts a band called
Spoilers.
His name was Lou. And he starts a band called Motley Lou, and then he finds the guys that started Google and gave them a whole bunch of money right at the beginning, and even to the point where they changed it to Lugal.
Didn't he? Wasn't he on the set of one of his music videos? And like some famous pop singer who came up with the song, like he parodied it, and like she was like, "This song feels oddly familiar." To me
I
for
don't
some
remember
reason."
that specifically, but it could have happened. But that
Yeah, so
that was probably the best gag in that movie.
Yeah, you should invest in Yahoo up until like 2010.
Yeah, 2010.
And then be like, no, if it's after that. So 3 years wouldn't work if you woke up 3
you have
years
to go
ago.
back 10 years.
It'd work for Bitcoin.
It would work for Bitcoin.
Oh yeah,
Anyway, should we get started on the show?
yeah. Hey guys, welcome to the Gadget Spot.
Hey,
Forgot about
if
that.
laughter was the best medicine, Tony, your face must be curing the world.
You would all be.
Stop reading that website.
Okay,
It's pretty terrible.
that one was out
like-
of my own head.
Just no, it's not. I can see it right.
You know what? You're so fat you could sell shade.
I used that one in 4th grade, I think.
I don't care.
These are good. I need that website for later.
We got some email.
Yeah, let's do the email. Well, let's do Patreon first, then we'll do the email. Does anyone have Patreon up?
Nope.
I'll get it up.
I'll get it up.
That sounds
guess
wrong.
you'll-
That's what she said.
That's very wrong.
So Patreon
What's
is a way that if you wanted to, if you
guys
don't know what
both
it
gonna
is,
get it
it's a
up.
way that you can donate to us as the show. It's a non-obligatory donation, but if you do choose to do it, just know that it helps us out. It helps us keep the lights on. We use it for anything from our paying for our servers to paying for games so we can review them. But in turn, we supply you with extra content. And this last week we put out a video. It's the shooting part 2 video.
That was good.
Jaron won.
Woo!
I'll be the first one to admit that.
I was. At first I was like, "There's no way Jaron's going to win because he doesn't win in anything," but he totally won.
Jaron got some lucky shots off.
I win in life.
I actually got to kind of agree with Jaron with that. He has been kind of winning in life.
Yeah, he's not wrong. He has an electric lawnmower, which is.
I mean,
that's pretty.
He has solid wood floors. He's got 2 kids at this point, and a dog. That he keeps in a closet. But but still got it.
No, she doesn't get a closet. She gets a tiny little
laundry
crate.
room. It's a laundry. Oh, better. That's better.
You just took it from like Harry Potter to like the Texas Chainsaw Harry Potter.
Nah, she gets a whole laundry room.
It's true. She only goes in the crate when company's over,
and the whole outside.
Yeah. I made friends with her. Anywho,
yeah, she still talks about you.
We want to do a quick shout out to the people that help keep the lights on. And Tony, do you got the list all loaded up and everything?
Nope, but I do.
Don't. Jaron does though.
Oh, nice.
Hey, so thank you. A big thank you to AJ Jasper, David Osuna, and Aaron Harris. You guys are all awesome. Ryan Baker, Lindsay Lucas, our tech mommy, Michael Beck, Matt Nelson, Jeffrey Kale, David Broshinsky, Roger Allen, Austin Beauregard, Crumbopula's Michael.
Yes.
Oh, here I go killing.
Well, here I go killing. It's my favorite thing to do.
I just love killing.
This Patreon backer's dedication to changing his name every week.
It's good.
It gets a laugh every week.
Yeah.
Like, I love him. Almost as much as I love Austin Beauregard.
Keep going, Jaron. Just power through it.
Just power through.
Dan Clark, Brian Lee, Conrad Southworth, and Adam Hecht. Thank you, guys. You are awesome.
Yes, thank you,
Thanks, guys.
Alrighty, we'll do an email real quick. This was an easy, relatively short email to answer, so we're going to just do it on the podcast here, and we only had one this week, so it works out well. This email is from David Osuna.
As you just heard, our Patreon backer.
Yeah. And let me pull it up real quick here so that I can read the exact specs. He has a PC question. So he's building it says, "Hello, gentlemen. I've decided / convinced my wife that
ain't that the truth?"
Yeah. That I needed a better computer to continue to build / host websites. So I recently just had my first custom PC built. This is what I decided to put in it. Thermaltake X31 ATX case, Corsair 750 watt modular power supply, MSI Z270 Gaming Pro Carbon, an i7 7700. I hope it was a 7700K, but it doesn't make a huge difference if it's not.
What's that MSI Z270 Gaming Pro Carbon?
That's a good motherboard.
It's a Mobo.
Yeah, I like that.
Motherboard.
The GTX 1080 Ti (parentheses only one ... so far).
That's the attitude right there.
Yeah. Acetec 550LC Performance Liquid CPU Cooler. That's a closed-loop CPU cooler all in one. 16 gigabyte, 2666 megahertz DDR4 RAM. An M2 SSD at 256 gig, and a 1 terabyte Seagate hard drive. He says,
solid.
Please advise of anything that you would have done differently or would add to the machine. Perhaps. No, I'm not done with the email yet.
I was going to tell him to ship it.
I wasn't the one to interrupt.
No, I thought that
you guys are still interrupting. Perhaps a pros / cons list. I'm looking to compile a list of future updates. Also, if I'm being honest, this is a gaming PC as well. Any game recommendations that can put my 1080 Ti to use? Well, I have a few. This whole PC master race is quickly consuming me. My Steam account is the True Box Boy, and I would love to add some peeps to my friends list and play sometime. Anywho, keep up the great work. Was that a Tony the Tiger reference? Maybe.
It's relevant because you're Tony.
I know.
You said that we couldn't interrupt you.
Shut up, guys.
Go.
As always, looking forward with great anticipation to the next episode, which we're recording right now. You guys rock.
David Osuna, Emperor of the World.
How'd you know that was his sign-off?
Because it says.
Oh.
Right below it.
Does it?
Isn't that cool? We have the Emperor of the World listening to us?
Oh, there was a little button I needed to click to see the rest of the email.
Yeah. Is there more that you didn't read now?
No. That was just the signature.
Just the most important part.
Right.
Okay.
So, first off, that's a good build you got going there. The one thing I would say that I would have done differently, and this is just me, is I would have gone with the 512 gig solid state for your M.2 PCIe. And also, if you are thinking about doing another 1080 Ti, which, to be completely honest, you really don't need to.
Tony has 2.
I have 2, and I love it, but it's because I'm really weird about wanting to have super powerful.
Yeah, but you're also kind of future-proofing, too, a little bit.
I am, and the 1080 Ti by itself, one of them, is fairly well future-proofed. Here's the thing with the 1080 Ti. If you have a 1440p resolution monitor, you will be able to play anything maxed out, basically, unless it's a poorly designed game.
And
But
speaking
you won't
about
have
the
to.
monitor, I think your money would be better served getting an awesome monitor, like with G-Sync, 10-bit color.
Yeah, definitely. That's a very, very good point, Jaron.
But you won't have 2. Just saying that. You won't have 2 video cards. I'm just throwing that out there.
Spoken from the most obsessive person on this panel.
Yeah.
Also true, Owen. You won't have 2 video
You won't have
cards.
2, and you won't be as cool.
But if you're gaming at 1440p, especially if you have G-Sync, you will play anything max settings, and it will look amazing. Now, if you want to go 4K, a 1080 Ti will handle most games at 4K at very high to ultra settings. You just might need to do a little bit of tweaking on some of the settings that don't have as much of a visual impact but take up a lot of resources, things like shadows, shadow resolution, some of the bokeh stuff, and also various forms of anti-aliasing.
What if he just pushes the clock up on it?
You can overclock it, and that will help somewhat. But even the best overclocks, you're only going to see an improvement of about 8%, maybe 10%. And so if you're looking at wanting to go from 58 to 60 frames per second, that'll do the job.
Oh, okay.
But if you're sitting at 50 frames per second and you want 60, overclock's not going to solve that.
But if you have a monitor with G-Sync,
That's the
those
thing.
frame rates won't matter as much anyway.
Exactly. Anything above 30, if you have G-Sync, you're gold. It'll be nice and tear free, no judder. G-Sync's pretty freaking awesome. All AMD's FreeSync's pretty cool too, but that's not what we're
FreeSync
talking
is
about.
cool because it's a software implementation, so a lot of monitor companies they include that in there.
And it's royalty free.
And yeah, so it's easy to include. G-Sync is a bit harder because it requires a chip, and it's
And they cost extra.
yeah.
So that's the other thing. And if you did really, really want to go with a second 1080 Ti, you're going to run into 2 bottlenecks with the build you have. The i7 7700K does not have enough native PCI Express lanes to support SLI and your PCI Express solid state drive.
Ooh,
Sly Cooper.
Yeah, so that's one of the main reasons I went with the Ryzen build, is because they have more PCI Express lanes.
so he couldn't do another 1080 Ti anyway if he doesn't have enough PCI
he
Express.
could, but he'd have to get rid of his PCIe solid state drive and just go to a SATA.
Ouch.
Which you're not going to see. You honestly won't see a huge difference if you do that, but there is a noticeable difference, slightly. The other thing too is you're on a 750 watt power supply. If you're going to do 1080 Ti's, you're going to want at least a 900 watt power supply, just so you're not running that thing maxed out all the time. All right. So, but all in all, the build you have right there, that's pretty primo. I think you're going to have a lot of fun with it.
Speaking of another build, I may or may not have gotten the okay to start looking into another build for a home computer for
You
me.
mention that like every episode.
And I was wondering
Since the beginning of the show, in fact. And so that has no weight.
You have one.
real quick,
He blew his first one on the mining rig.
He
know
did.
what,
He did.
Jaron?
Real quick, before we go any further.
someday I hope you go far and you'll stay there, Jaron.
Bam! Right from the website.
All right.
Far in life, I already have been, man.
What the heck? I just want to say before we finish, thanks for the email, David.
Hey,
These guys just start going. Blah, 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 blah.
Hey, we also have a message from Lindsay Lucas,
Oh yeah.
our tech mommy.
Woo! Go for it.
Oh.
Was that it?
Oh, I thought
just
someone
wanted
else.
to tell us
I was
people-
setting it up. You
You know what, Jaron? Your
People
doctor
just-
called with your colonoscopy results.
Jeep.
Good news.
Tony, shut
they
that
found
down.
your head.
Shut that down.
He did it by himself
That's
on his
good.
own.
that silence was so good. People were like, "Wait, did it just cut out? What happened?" Everybody, not like
Dead
nothing.
silence.
They grabbed their phone in their car.
They're like, "What
Is
the?
this an ad from Stitcher now or something?
What's going on here?"
All right, so Lindsay Lucas said, "Are you planning a Gadget Spot meetup at Comic-Con?" Bum, bum, bum.
So we have 2 answers for that. No and yes.
We weren't planning it.
There is no no. I mean, we are doing it again.
Well, we
now.
weren't planning it, though.
No,
But
that's still not quite what I was going for. The no is that it is not going to be at Comic-Con. It will be in the general vicinity during the time of Comic-Con.
Oh, so not at Comic-Con, not inside of the Salt Palace, but somewhere in downtown Salt Lake that's close to it, because I'm assuming that a lot of our fans are going to be going to Comic-Con anyway.
A few, maybe. I hope. It's a good time.
But keep an eye on our Facebook and Twitter.
Yep.
I'll make up some graphics, and I'll put in a map as to where you can meet up with us.
And we have one more episode to put out before Comic-Con, so we'll have more details in the next episode.
Yeah. So I don't know if we want to make it like a official meetup, because I know we're not doing it. We didn't submit in enough time to do a panel at Comic-Con this year.
Oh, no, yeah.
But maybe in future Comic-Cons we will.
Maybe. I'd say we should shoot a little smaller first. Let's try for Gaming Con. and then
I'm fine with that.
And then maybe we'll see if we can get some Comic-Con action. But yeah, so we'll give you some more details on that later. We are trying to put something together. And if you feel like maybe messaging us on Facebook, and if you want to throw out some ideas of what you think would be fun, because we're sitting here thinking, if we just have it at like a cafe or something, it's like, hey, there's the 4 guys from Gadget Spot.
Hi.
That's weird and awkward.
And then Tony threw out maybe Nickelcade, and I'm thinking that
or bowling or something.
It would be fun to bring our Switches and then just have like a Nintendo Switch off, play some Mario Kart. Hey, you'll share my Switch with me.
Okay, thanks, James.
And just a warning, we're not
side eyes.
nearly as charming in person as we are on this podcast.
Nope, I prepare for 2 weeks for this social excursion.
So you better start now.
I know. I'm getting sweaty palms right now.
After this, you go home and put on your turtleneck and hibernate for another 2 weeks.
Yeah, seriously, I have to save it up. I have to save all my social energy and then expend it.
Okay, so yeah, keep an eye out for that. Let's see. Let's talk about some tech and some gadgets. How about that?
Yeah.
First thing, okay, this isn't really tech related. We don't have to lead with this, but I kind of want to, just because it's probably the odd man out in everything we want to talk about today. But I read a really cool article that explained the difference between a nuclear bomb and a hydrogen bomb.
I read that same article.
Because,
hey, that's timely.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why the article was put up, because North Korea says, we developed an H-bomb. And so now it's like, well, what's the difference between a nuke and an H-bomb?
Yeah.
So this article goes into...
Which one's worse?
It's credible.
H-bomb.
It's New York Times. And we'll post it on our show notes, but it's really interesting. It goes into how basically a nuke has a much smaller yield, but an H-bomb is much, much bigger, and it has to do with the way that there's secondary and tertiary explosions that happen and implosions that happen before the bomb actually explodes itself.
So it like sucks in?
Kind of, yeah.
Ew.
And it compresses itself more.
What's the radius of like the suck? Does it say?
No. Not. It's just within the bomb itself. Not like it pulls outside particles in.
Oh, I was thinking like a whoop.
This interests me because nuclear technology is really cool, and so I read a lot about it, and so. The first bomb, nuclear bomb, this is the core. This is fission, right? We use an explosive to make the hydrogen or the atoms in
the uranium or the plutonium
to break apart fission
and just expend all its energy
fission,
at once.
Nuclear fission. Well, when you wrap a nuclear bomb in hydrogen,
but it's special hydrogen. Yeah. It's not just regular hydrogen. It's like it's been treated and everything to make it specific to this use case.
It's missing some atoms or something like that, so it's special. But
that just makes it sound funny though. It's special hydrogen, guys.
so the nuclear bomb blows up, fission, and then the energy from that causes fusion, which is like
that's how the sun works.
Yes, that's why it's so much more powerful. And we've been chasing nuclear fusion for. That's actually relevant to the show because we've been chasing nuclear fusion for
decades.
I mean, forever since we've
as an energy source, not as a mass killing machine.
Right, exactly.
And they actually made some headway on that actually recently in the news, being able to make that. There's a Japanese laboratory that is working on fusion, and they contain it within a magnetic field.
Right.
Anyway,
on a side note, the problem we have with fusion right now is containment and producing more energy than it takes to initiate the reaction.
We've all seen the horrible Spider-Man where they start a sun in that
tritium.
Yeah, but
tritium's real. It turns out,
it's anyway.
Starting a sun is not.
No.
So yeah, it's a really interesting article that just talks about, and it talks about how throughout the years, different bombs that have been made, how big their explosions are compared to the ones before.
It shows that graphic in there, right?
Yeah.
Does it show like because we measure explosions in tons of dynamite, right?
Right.
In kilotons
or megatons
or whatever.
once you get past the kilo part.
Yeah, and it's pretty insane. I think they show the U.S.'s nuclear arsenal, and what the yields are, and those bombs are like we think about Hiroshima or whatever, and we're like, wow, those killed a bunch of people, but the nuclear bombs we have now are in the order of magnitudes like
they're
7-8 times
much
bigger.
Oh, way bigger than that.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Stage 1 would be the implosion atomic bomb, which was one Hiroshima. Hiroshima is the way they measure this was one of those. So then you have the stage 2 bomb, which is a boosted atomic bomb. And there's been several stages of the way these bombs were made. And that is equal to 3 Hiroshimas.
Crazy.
Then you have layered atomic bomb, which is equal to 25 Hiroshimas.
Ooh.
Now the H-bomb, and I think there's only been a handful of these tested ever in the world. I think like 4 or 5, because we know that certain countries that have H-bomb capabilities are the U.S., Britain, China, Russia, and I think there was one more mentioned here. There's one more mentioned here in the article, but I can't find it. Anyway, H-bomb 1,000 times bigger than Hiroshima.
Can you imagine
1,000 times?
That's like island disintegrating force.
Yep. And so it's just fascinating how all of that works. So the U.S. tested an H-bomb at Bikini Atoll in 1954, and that's how we get kind of our. Oh, France is the other country
H-bomb users
that has H-bomb capability. France, Britain, China, Russia, and the U.S. But anyway, if you go to this website or this article on New York Times, it has footage of the H-bomb going off on Bikini Atoll, and it's insane.
Have you heard of the Tsar Bomba?
Yeah, the biggest one that the Russians have lit off.
Yeah, so
tested.
I read an article about this a few weeks ago, but the Tsar Bomba is 50 megatons. So we're not saying kilotons here, megatons.
That would be 50,000 kilotons.
Crazy. And apparently they wanted to make it even more powerful, but the scientists were worried that it would pretty much destroy the whole Earth.
Crack the Earth open, basically.
So they didn't. So they made the Tsar Bomba instead.
Jeez.
Which is still freaking huge.
Can you believe that? Well, and the crazy thing, too, if you think about it, is there's been natural events occurring on the Earth that have been bigger than any of the bombs we've let off, too. The Krakatoa explosion that was heard, I think, 9 times around the world.
Oh, yeah, that's insane.
The sound wave traveled around the world 9 times, if I remember correctly. And then there was another event.
There's no fallout from that, though, like there would be from a nuclear bomb.
Well, I mean, there is kind of, but it's not nuclear.
Right.
You have the...
not radiation.
Yeah, no radiation.
The ash winter.
Exactly, the ash winter. But then there was another event in 1908 called Tuskegee in Russia.
Oh, yeah, the
meteor that blew up about, I want to say like a quarter mile above this forest in Russia. And it was bigger than any bomb that's been set off in the world, if I remember correctly.
The footage is really cool of that place to see the trees just laying flat.
Yeah, it's a huge circle of big old trees just laid completely down.
Like if you have like a tarp or you leave something on the lawn and you pick it up, it looks. I mean, imagine that on like a mass scale.
Yeah,
like it's just insane.
So anyway, that's kind of how some of the natural events compare to these bombs that humans have created, but. Yeah, I just saw this article that was put up in a timely manner because of North Korea claiming that they have H-bomb capability now, which scientists are still kind of disputing. Well, they're currently looking into the after effects of their test, the seismographs. And things
how
like
big
that.
was that on the seismograph? I think it came up at 6.3 on the a man-made 6.3 quake on the seismographs felt around the world. So they're saying, yeah, that's pretty big. As far as man-made quakes can be produced by in a nuclear setting.
So anyway, not to scare you out there.
Don't worry,
that's not the point.
Yeah, let's just talk about nuclear bombs.
It's just this in general just fascinates me. This kind of the way that this technology works.
I saw a really interesting subreddit the other day that said, "How does the current Korea crisis compared to the Cold War?" just like asking Redditors who grew up during that time. And they're like, it doesn't even compare at all.
Oh, really?
Apparently somebody in that subreddit commented, they're like, yeah, I lived in wherever, like Kansas, and then we moved to New York City, and then I asked my teacher, like, why don't we practice the, getting into a safe place? And the teacher's like, because New York would be one of the first places, and we wouldn't even have any warnings. We would just be blown up. And I can't even imagine, like, living in a city that it's just like, yep, I mean, you might die at literally any time. So, I don't know. It's scary, but I don't know.
See, North Korea is definitely a much smaller concern nationwide because they still don't have missiles that can reach the U.S. I know
well,
of.
they're saying that they do now.
That's what they're saying.
But yeah,
I would like to,
and we have so many missile defense measures that I can promise you that it would be shot down before.
If Comcast sends me a cease and desist on downloading a movie 10 minutes after I download it, I would like to believe that our U.S. government could shoot down a Korean missile.
I think that's a little bit different.
Okay. Read another one.
Can I rub something in Jaren's face really quick?
Of course.
All right. So if many of you have responded to this, but I just wanted to rub something in Jaren's face when he said, I don't know if we should do a fantasy football league, guys. I don't know if we'll have enough people to do it. You know what? It started out as 6-person league, and then it filled up. And I'm like, you know what? Let's up it to 10 people. Filled up. And then I'm like, you know what? I've never played in a 14-man league before. Filled up.
James, like I've told you 2 times before, I am very happy for you.
I know.
I am so glad I am wrong because this is cool and I like it.
I am so excited. And thank you guys so much to responding to this fantasy football league. I will be doing updates as much as I can as far as like commissioner notes and reporting on the show. First week, you and I play together.
Yeah, we are.
Me and Owen.
We're going to the head-to-head thing,
and we got a bet going.
Head
to head.
What is? Oh yeah, I remember the bet now.
So just in case you don't know, football teams play Thursday nights, Sunday all day, and then Monday night.
Holy crap, that's time consuming.
Yeah, I won't be doing that.
You don't have to watch all the games.
You can't. Yeah, just
the
set
website.
your lineup.
The website automatically updates the points, right?
Yeah. Just set your lineup. Tuesday and Wednesday or Wednesday when you're pooping, and then just let it go.
Okay.
I mean, if you're really dedicated, what you can do is sometimes your players get hurt or whatever, and then you can switch them out. But
if you don't switch out hurt players, that they stay in the lineup, and then all of a sudden you're screwed.
Yeah, and as soon as their team starts playing, it locks them into place, so you can't switch them out.
Oh,
but I'm really excited to do it. We got some really interestingly named people in the league, especially you. You're O Diggity.
I changed that from Owen's team.
I don't know. I think I liked Owen's team.
Nope. Nobody did. I asked 2 people.
Yeah, he had focus groups here.
I asked many people. They both said they didn't
both
like
said it was a no.
We got
Owen. That sounds lame.
Football teams named Get Swifties, Salvador's team, Isengard, Urukai, the Noobs. Insert football
Isengard,
pun.
Urukai. Lord of the Rings.
It's like Jaren's found a team to root for.
I respect that.
We got the Fracken Cylons, the Osunarators.
Osunarators. Come on, man.
Sure. The Rebels. I'm pretty excited about this. I've never played in a 14-man league before.
I'm going to have to throw my weight behind
Diggity.
Frackin' Cylon.
Okay, so that's your
sorry.
team?
Oh, Diggity.
Yeah. At least do it privately.
I got to support Owen.
I'm supporting Isengard personally.
All right.
I've
cool.
always felt close to Saruman.
So this first
I
week,
respect him.
I'm really excited to go against Owen.
Yeah.
Let's see how it turns out. Whoever wins, the other person's going to supply a drink of the other person's choice.
Yeah, that's right. I'm good, right? I've set my team. My team's set. My lineup's set.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're all set.
But you have to redo it every week.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not really. You can set it and just leave it.
The first one I'm pretty safe on. I don't need to go set it.
The first one is the best team that you could possibly have at this point because the draft just happened.
Yeah, and I let the computer decide for me. I'm not sure if that was good or not.
It's probably fine.
But next time we record, for anybody that is playing fantasy football, I might have like a top 5 fantasy football support sites or whatever if you need any help. Whatever.
Sounds like more work.
Anyhow,
hey James,
so
I don't
kind
have
of in your face a little bit.
I don't have to say this, but this was a great idea.
Thank you.
I'm happy it's working out.
I can't believe we have 14 people. Like that's awesome.
That is cool.
I'm so excited to play in this league this year.
And I'm trying to sound sincere.
It's almost working.
Good. I have one more question about this. What is the end result here? Just fun?
Yeah.
It's bragging rights.
I mean,
Oh,
I mean, if we want to, next year we can do like a sign
What's
up
the end result here.
like
to where people can put in like $5, and whoever wins
Well, I'll
the whole
just-
league will win, all the money.
yeah, we'll just
Maybe next
I
year.
don't think
we'll
Put
you
in
can do that
Ethereum.
legally.
we'll
yeah,
just,
you can on Yahoo. You can.
Oh,
we'll just put
okay.
an Ethereum wallet, and you can guys just donate some Ethereum.
Owen, cool it.
I'm pushing everybody into cryptocurrency. So
You know those times when you're being weird? Now's one of those times.
I actually
okay.
appreciate you pushing
Save,
people
Jaron,
into.
thanks.
I appreciate you pushing people into cryptocurrency because the more you do it, the more legit it is, and the more it hikes up prices.
Exactly. That sounded so weird. It got real quiet when I did that, and I was hoping for not
Are
that
we just
quiet.
gonna sing our answers
and I was
now?
like, exactly.
That's kind of Valley Girl right there.
I'm sorry.
Let's keep it.
All right, let's talk about some mobile gadgets because we got a fair amount of mobile gadget
Yeah,
news
it was
this week.
IFA, right?
Yep.
IFA?
International
Farts
FA.
Association.
So the LG V30 was announced, and this is the first LG phone that I've looked at and been like, I kind of want one of those
It's cool,
in
but
quite a while.
unfortunately, I still think there's better stuff out there. But it is awesome looking.
So I'm waiting for the Pixel 2. That's kind of my
Well, yeah.
next phone.
Yeah.
And so, but I don't know. I heard some talk that it's not going to have a headphone jack, and that just
It's sad, isn't
ruffles
Yeah.
my feathers.
Well, then
And
you'll love the LG V30 then, because
You
it
got-
has a 32-bit DAC with a headphone jack.
it?
see?
Yep.
DAC.
Not only
didn't-
that,
Didn't somebody tell me that I? Never mind.
the V30 is going to have. I think is it going to be LG's first full AMOLED display screen?
I think so.
Pretty sure it's got a very huge aperture as far as
F1.6. I think it's a first for mobile
it's
phones.
a first for mobile phones.
But it
so
kinda-
it should make for good low light photography.
They throw
for
the-
mobile phones.
Yeah, they kind of throw the kitchen sink at you with this phone.
They really did.
It has everything. It has a headphone jack, which is horrible that we have to say this now. It has a micro SD slot.
Yep.
It has IP68 water resistance.
Getting excited.
It has an AMOLED screen with very, very slim bezels.
Does it have an IR blaster?
Shut up, Owen.
Sorry, buddy.
Nobody has IR
That's
blasters
not
anymore.
true. That's not true. I found an LG phone that has it.
How old was it?
I don't know, a year or two.
So is the IR blaster going the same way as the headphone jack?
It
Oh,
went
it's already
back.
gone
It
there.
was like a year and a half ago. I still bring this up because I'm an obsessive.
He loves his IR blaster.
But it's got the most common top tier specs right now. It has a Snapdragon 835, 4 gigs of RAM. It's a pretty phone too. I like the design of it.
It's got a good sized battery, 3,300 milliamps.
Yeah, it's kind of Samsung-y, but it has its own twist on it.
What do you mean by Samsung-y?
It kind of looks like
It looks a little
phone.
bit Samsung style.
Yeah. But LG has some pretty good cameras out there, and with a f1.6, it looks pretty good. It has a dual camera setup, and you can actually do some cool stuff with this camera. So you know how on the iPhone, since it has dual camera, you can simulate depth of field on it, right? Well, this phone does something similar. However, you can choose the amount of blur level you want, even after you
right.
take the photo.
Yeah, I saw that, the demo for that.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Not that it matters as well, but the cameras are 16 megapixel, so that could be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not as big of a thing as everyone makes it out to
LG
be.
V20 has an IR blaster.
The V20 does?
Yeah, it does.
I can't believe
Go
you're still.
figure.
Yeah, I went and looked that up.
So, okay, let's put this to the test here, Owen. If the V30 has an IR blaster, would you consider it over a Nexus 2?
Over the Pixel 2?
Or Pixel 2, yeah. So it's
I
got an
wanna
IR
say-
blaster and a headphone jack.
I have really enjoyed the updates and the low bloat and no overlaying like architecture over the Google, like the pure Android setup of the Google Nexus.
So the one thing
So-
LG does have going in that aspect is it is very lightly modified, the
Yeah.
UI.
A lot of carriers have started doing that.
No?
I think it's pretty heavily modified
It
for
used
now.
to be.
It definitely has its own layer on top and has a lot of bloatware on there. That's really the only
But that's
negative
the-
I see.
That's the carrier's fault, isn't it? The bloatware?
Yeah,
Can you take bloatware off a phone?
I think that's
No,
LG's fault
It's
too.
hard.
you have to mod your phone and load it with a custom boot ROM or a custom ROM. The problem is isn't that how carriers subsidize the phones? Isn't that how they lower the price to offer the same phone? At like if you bought it completely unlocked or whatever, straight from whoever, it'd be like $600-$700. Or if you buy it from the carrier locked in with them, then it's like $400, and they offset it with that, putting that crap on there.
Kind of, but your margins are a little bit off. They never get down to $400.
No, not anymore. I'm talking about way back in time.
See, look, it says right here, LG took a restrained approach with the rest of its software. The V30 runs a version of Android 7.12. I'm sure it'll get 8.0 soon. That has been lightly painted over with LG's custom interface.
They say lightly. I've seen it. It doesn't look light to me. It doesn't look ugly or anything. There's just they've done a lot, especially like to the settings and stuff like that. Not necessarily a bad thing. It's just I don't think it's anywhere near stock Android. It's a huge screen though, 6 inches. I kind of wish
it's got a super high resolution too.
It does. It's 1440p, I think.
No, man, it's well, I think but it's 2880 by 1440.
Okay. But
yeah, man.
I kind of wish that they would settle on like 5.5 inches and just make the phone smaller at this point.
Yeah.
Because they did get rid of the bezels, but I want it to be more portable now.
It's got a fingerprint scanner in the back too, like the Nexus devices.
Yeah, it has it in the back, and it's not right by the camera like Samsung's
like
been doing.
Samsung. Right. There's a nice clean area between the camera and the
that's kind of like what the Nexus does.
Yeah,
like
similar to that between the camera and the
I've been a big fan of
where it's placed on the back. Is it? I know you guys are just listening. It's kind of where the Apple logo is.
Yeah, where the Apple maybe
but
a little bit
is that
lower.
To like hold it like that?
Yep.
I don't like that.
I said,
but
honestly.
see, like I hold
it's
my
fantastic.
phone like this, like
me
lower
too.
to the bottom. So if it was like,
it would definitely take some getting
back.
used to.
It's really, and depends on the speed. Like with the Nexus, like it's really quick, and like
that is quick.
And you can put all your fingerprints in there, and it's really nice.
But
anyway,
speaking
all
of
of your fingerprints,
all of your fingerprints, you can unlock it with anyone.
All I'm saying is the government.
There's actually something worth mentioning on that, because with the Galaxy S7, you can only put in 4 fingerprints.
Oh, really?
You can't do all 10 of your fingers.
I think you could do 5 with the iPhone.
Is it 5 on the iPhone?
I think so, yeah.
If you guys are conspiracy theorists, like the government didn't have to like mandate, like, you know, you have to give us your fingerprints. They literally just gave us devices and we did it for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not.
And then they're going to do it with
well,
the face,
Apple,
probably with the next.
Apple says
I was
it's
gonna say,
stored on their secure enclave.
Secure.
So
there
nothing is secure.
There
And
is that.
It's stored just on the phone itself. It's not uploaded to anywhere.
Also, I like the word enclave that you used there. That was a very accurate description.
Yes. So speaking of phones, Samsung also announced the Note 8.
Indeed.
Yeah. So this one is $1,000.
Oh,
is that a lot or a little?
You act offended now, but when Apple comes out with the iPhone 8 and it's $1,000, you're not going to say anything.
You mean it's not $1,500? I was expecting more.
Exactly.
Wow, that's cheap for what I thought it was going to be.
Well, the thing is, this just legitimizes it for Apple now.
It does.
And it's kind of dumb.
Sure. For sure.
But oh well.
It's like setting the anchor. So like they keep upping the price of these new phones, but I mean realistically, is there that much better technology in them that makes them
That's
work?
what I was asking
There's
Tony
not.
the other day.
There's not.
We've talked about this before. How cell phones are kind of reached like a kind of a plateau.
Do you get better quality
technology-wise
sound?
until you can get me a battery that lasts legitimately with my usage for like 4 days?
Yep.
That's just what we want. More battery, and that's pretty much it.
More battery. I have my apps. You know, I like the stuff I like, but I don't need.
I think for the next few years, all new phones you see are going to be incremental upgrades, and it's going to take some sort of huge leap in either battery tech or maybe display tech or camera tech. That's going to be
I
like
think display tech is at its peak.
Well,
what can be better other than a third dimension?
That's what when I say display tech, I mean something we don't know we haven't really made yet. So either a third dimension or maybe a completely clear phone that you can see through, like glass.
I don't think I'd want
maybe
that
we
still.
should make predictions as to if you could add something into the phone that would make it that much better for you. Like for me, if it came stock with like a projector, like you could project what's on your phone.
Never use that.
I would love that. You play a video, you set it down, and then it projects a video onto the wall for everybody. That would be awesome.
For me, I want week-long battery life.
Guess what I would add?
Battery life.
And a camera.
I know what Owen would have.
Yeah. What would I add?
Our blaster.
I would add.
Augmented reality.
So for me, 2 things: week-long battery life and a DSLR camera.
A DSLR quality
camera.
Wow.
That's like pie in the sky type stuff.
But I agree.
But seriously,
Not so
battery
much
life
with the
is
camera,
right?
but battery life.
Battery life that lasts for heavy usage.
Well, and you know what I mean, and this is a problem all computers have, and I would love it if I could keep using the same phone for like 3 years without it slowing down.
Right.
I got another one.
What's that?
A phone that actually is as good as a portable console, like the Switch.
Oh, like you take
That
it,
would
you
be
can
cool.
plug it in. And,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
like
at
the ecosystem would need to be there. They'd need to figure out the controls. But if it had that, oh, that'd be awesome.
At that point, you're almost just talking about a full-on like pocket console,
Yeah.
which
Yep,
would be
that's
awesome.
what I'm talking
Or
about.
So-
wireless charging. I would like that, like full on wireless charging.
Not
like,
having to put
not
it on
having
a
to
thing,
placing it on a,
but just
on a
being in the same
sheet
room.
mat. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
but then that would worry me about getting cancer.
You should already be worried about that.
Yeah.
Hey,
See,
but-
minus the camera, this is all tech that exists. We've heard every week we have a new BS about battery life that could
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah.
We've talked about what else did we talk about?
Well, I was going to say,
All the other things.
Yeah,
Screen resolution.
yeah. So the screen's already there. The battery technology is there. No one's just using it in mass production. Technically, we could get console quality games on there. No one has just done it. You know, it would be cool.
The biggest barrier between the console quality games is battery life.
Yeah.
Because there are chips out there like NVIDIA's new X2 that they've kind of announced for just cars right now. But once they make that into mobile mode, you're talking about probably pretty much PS4 quality graphics on a mobile chip. But the battery life is going to go
for 3 minutes.
Freaking
Yeah,
battery
exactly.
life, man. It kills everything.
It does
Makes me mad. So the Note 8, it has a even larger screen than the V30, 6.3 inches. It's gigantic.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I thought I read it was 5.8.
Nope, I'm reading it right now.
Oh.
It has 6 gigs of RAM versus the 4 of the V30. So you got that.
I'm always a fan of more RAM.
yeah.
Me too.
Still has a Snapdragon 835. The dual cameras as well, which is becoming commonplace on new phones.
Yep.
Fingerprint sensor right by the cameras in an impossible to reach location because the Note 8 is a freaking huge phone.
my favorite thing about taking pictures on my phone is when somebody actually does put a thing and it gives you like the soft lens flare. I'm being very sarcastic. I don't like that at all.
And also has a S Pen.
An S Pen?
S Pen.
Oh, a spin.
S Pen.
Yeah.
Is that a stylus?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're really trying to make up from the disaster of the Note 7.
Have they
Big time.
mentioned whether or not it's going to blow up or not?
They say it won't.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they say one. In fact, the battery is kind of smaller than people were expecting.
3,300 milliamp battery.
Oh.
I have an idea what they could do with all these Note 7s.
What?
Well, North Korea, they don't know anything about outside news, right? They don't know that they explode.
Just send them all up there.
Send them up there as a Trojan horse.
Yeah,
like,
but make sure
here's
they-
a peace offering.
Okay.
Kaboom.
However,
Exactly.
make sure that it goes to government officials and not the general populace. They have
Yeah.
a hard enough time already.
I agree.
We're finding out so much about like mechanized war technology. Like, what did you guys say? Outfit the tanks with computer screens.
Yeah, monitors. They'd be good armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you were to watch our first shooting video, you'll find out like what monitors can withstand a 9mm and a
40 caliber.
40 caliber. Speaking of your guys' ripping on technology, if you scroll to the very bottom of the show notes,
Failed technology predictions?
yeah, it's awesome.
Ooh.
It's just a bunch of just people saying stuff that don't hold up over the test of time. Like number 2 is, we will never make a 32-bit operating system. Bill Gates said that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Right here. There's no reason anyone would want a computer in their home. Ken Olsen, president, chairman, and founder of Digital Equipment Corp., maker of the big business mainframe computers. I don't know. It's just like if
That's
you,
pretty funny.
if anybody ever says like, yeah, they'll never do that. Yeah, they
So
will.
think about this. This is interesting to me. This just gave me a thought. The people that are, in this case, that are actively shaping the future and what will be commonplace in technology, these are the people saying no. The people that usually predict right and cause the inspiration for the technology we use today, science fiction writers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Star Trek.
Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry. I meant Ray Bradbury. You got guys like Isaac Asimov, who predicted a ton of the stuff that we have today back in like the 40s and 50s.
Nuclear-powered vacuum cleaners will probably be a reality in 10 years.
I didn't say they're always right.
See, I just want a miniverse. I just want a miniverse to power my car.
microverse?
Well, miniverse, microverse, teenyverse.
Yours would be bigger. Microverse is smaller.
Well, even you were talking about, it's the New York Times earlier, right?
Yeah.
The New York Times said a rocket will never be able to leave the Earth's atmosphere.
Never. You know what's funny is the sad thing about that is it seems like in the last 40 years our space technology has gone backwards.
Yeah.
Because
Funding.
how many times did we go to the moon
Well-
in the 70s? This is the late 60s and 70s. I think we go like 5 or 6 times. And now we can't get back there all of a sudden.
Well, we had like a capitalistic point of view where it's like we had competition.
Yeah.
yeah.
And once we have competition over something, it like spurs
That's
innovation.
true. That's true.
And we had zero competition to go anywhere else. So why?
The number of patents for everyday modern technology that we use now that came out of the space program in the late 60s and 70s is huge. So much of the technology we use now came from that, or technology that we have was based on that.
The best thing that could happen to mankind right now is a alien satellite could land in Washington, D.C. and said, get ready to be assimilated in 20 years. And then that would make everybody be like, well, we need to come together.
Oh, no, he didn't.
That's exactly the plot of Independence Day Resurgence.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I actually never... Really?
So here's one from this list, and think about coal power as I read it. Dear Mr. President, the canal system of this country is being threatened by a new form of transportation known as railroads.
What? Curse those railroads! Oh, my God.
The horse is here to stay, but the automobile is a novelty, a fad. The president of Michigan Savings Bank.
My gosh. All right, let's hit real quick on several more of these mobile devices. SanDisk announced a 400 gig micro SD card.
That is
Crazy.
crazy.
Did you see their
cool.
advertisement for it? They had like a big one and then a small one.
Oh, really? Yeah. So, yeah, think about that. Micro SD card, about the size of my pinky fingernail.
Or a normal person's index finger.
There you go. 400 gig.
That just blows my mind.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Oh yeah. So unfortunately it's not rated very quick. It'll
Yeah.
struggle with 4K video.
So there's 0
But-
point to having it right now.
But no.
but
You put in your
storage,
Switch
right?
and have quite a bit of storage.
Yeah. As long as you're not doing 4K video or need super fast transfers, you're fine. And the fact of the matter is, now that they have that, they'll make it faster with iterative models.
How much is it right now? Did they say a price?
I looked the other day. I think it's like $200.
So I remember when we got our first good computer growing up, it was a Pentium. It had, I think, 540 megabyte hard drive.
Get out.
Yeah.
And now something that's the size of your pinky nail can hold 400 gigabytes. That just blows my mind.
Expected to retail for $250.
That's not that bad for that amount of storage.
And that size.
Well, yeah,
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty amazing, but it'll drop in price so fast. I got a 200 gig version of this from SanDisk for my Switch back.
I thought we got 128s.
No, we got 200s.
We did?
And I got it for like $70.
Right.
So the price will drop like crazy on this.
We did get 200. Oh,
Yeah.
sweet. I thought I had 128 in there.
You got 200.
I only have 64.
Oh, like a sucker.
I don't have a Switch.
All right, Sony also announced some new sound equipment. You got the Sony Smart Speaker and some wireless earbuds.
So a lot of companies have been putting out wireless earbuds. It's the year of the earbud.
It really is.
Philips announced some that were pretty cheap. Sony announced theirs. I think they're $200, which kind of tells you that the price of the AirPods actually is not that bad at
I was
all.
going to say, do you think they followed? Do you think they watched Apple and they're like, okay, let's just see for a year how those do?
Hold up.
Because they look ridiculous.
Let's talk about earbuds really quick, too.
So
The
no,
earbuds.
Jaron. Let's see they announced 4 different ones, but the truly wireless ones are the WH or is it the WI?
Yeah, their model names are horrible. So that's WI-1000X, WH-1000, XM2, or WF-1000X.
So which one is the wireless earbuds?
I thought it was the WF-1000X, but I could be wrong.
If it's the WF, then it's $199. If it's the WIs, it's $299. And if it's
it is the WI.
Yeah, so they're $300.
$300, and you get 3 hours of battery life. which is not good.
2 charges, I think.
2 charges, so that's also not good. And they're charging $300 for them.
I did read a review on them the other day, though, last night, that said they did sound pretty great.
There is one differentiator. They have noise canceling.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the only wireless earbuds that do that.
So,
I haven't heard of any other wireless earbuds that do that.
Braggy does.
Yeah,
They do noise canceling?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
And then there's another one, I think they're called Spot. They do noise canceling or noise amplification.
Really quick, the Apple AirPods,
Yeah.
they kind of look ridiculous.
So do any wireless earbud.
Yeah, but like I was just walking through the airport a couple weeks ago, and I saw several people that had them in, and I just don't like the design of them.
I like the design of them.
All right.
I really like the design of these Sonys as well.
They look good.
They look really,
They don't
really
look
cool.
like $300, but they look good.
Yeah, Apple really nailed it with the pricing, I must say.
They did. And then they got a smart speaker that looks so much like a HomePod.
It does, even though the HomePod's not released yet,
Yeah.
but they did announce it like months ago. However, I'm pretty sure the Google Assistant will be 1 billion times better than whatever Apple puts in there.
I'm sure. It's just the track record, you know?
But it looks like a HomePod with Google Assistant, and it looks really cool. And since it's Sony, I'm sure it'll sound respectable. And it's $200.
Yeah, that one's $200.
Which is also cheaper than the HomePod.
On a quick gaming side note, The Witcher turns 10. For the very first Witcher game came out 10 years ago, I believe this month.
I own that game. I bought it on Steam, and I still haven't opened it up.
You know, I wasn't a terribly huge fan of the first Witcher game. I thought it was pretty good, but The Witcher 2 is much better, and you all know my feelings on The Witcher 3.
You hate
Horrible.
it. Greatest game of all time. So
literally unplayable.
If you check out the, we put a link in our show notes to an article about that, and there's about a 2-minute video that CD Projekt Red made to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of Witcher. It's pretty cool. Also, gadget related, the new Nest Thermostat.
They made it white.
They made it cheap
because they didn't like the black one.
I don't like it.
It is kind of cheap looking.
It is,
but that's the point, because it is cheaper. It's $169 versus $250.
Yeah.
I actually like the look of it.
Really?
Yeah.
It blends into a wall better.
That's what they're kind of going. That's how they're trying to sell it. They're like, for the minimalists out there, this blends into the wall. You won't even notice it's there.
It definitely looks cheaper.
Yeah.
What upgrades does it have?
No,
It's
it has
a downgrade.
exactly the same functionality.
No, it's downgrades, actually.
yeah.
It's not as compatible with as many HVAC systems.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's 6 wire instead of 8 or something.
Yeah,
or
something like that. And it doesn't display the outside temperature. It doesn't
No,
have like
but-
a full-on LCD screen.
But as far as the functionality goes,
it is the same.
It's the same.
That's what
Yeah.
they're selling it for. Is
Yeah.
that if you want to have the cost savings of having a smart thermostat that you can turn on and off with your phone and monitor your power usage and all that stuff, like it'll do the job. It's just not as flashy.
Can I just say, we linked our Nest up with our Amazon Echoes that we have around our house, and it is fantastic to just be
Really?
like, yeah, turn the temperature to 74 degrees, turn it down to 68 degrees. It's awesome.
So
I feel like I'm living in the future.
I need to get a smart speaker. I'm not sure which one I'll get yet, but
Just get the Dot.
I
They're
want
so cheap.
something nicer.
I got the Dot, and
Okay.
I have been not impressed. It's hard. We only have one, so we have to scream around the house for her to do what she.
See, that's why you just got to get like one per room.
Yeah.
Alexa, turn the temperature down.
Exactly, and if you stutter or if you make any type of
Doesn't
mistake,
work.
she goes
Whoa, what, Owen?
That's they
ordering you.
I think that's the next big thing they need to do in voice transcription, figuring out the stuttering stuff, because people stutter all the time. They mess up
Yeah.
with what they say all
Or
the
they
time.
You get brain farts when you're talking to a
Yeah.
machine.
Exactly.
And it just stops recording
Mid-sentence.
and looks for the mid-sentence action.
yeah.
Hey, add, mashed potatoes.
Sorry, I
to
didn't
my-
catch that. You're an idiot. Maybe it should shame us into better. Like I have to sit there and be like, okay, what am I going to say to Alexa before I say it?
Yeah. If you stutter.
Okay, I've got it.
You
And I'll be
stutter.
like, Alexa, start this radio
Nope.
station on Pandora.
You stutter and it just says, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Please think before you speak.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
The funny thing is I think we can add segments of our show to the Amazon Alexa. So, like during the flash news briefing and stuff, we could add that in if we wanted to.
That sounds cool.
Alexa, go find the Gadget Spot podcast on.
Yep,
Podbean.
it stuttered. You stuttered.
I stopped. I
don't get
paused
it.
right there. But now, if anybody's listening out loud around their Alexa, it's going to go do that.
Yeah, but if you ask it to play Alexa, play X96, it'll do it through TuneIn.
Nice.
And it'll
cool.
play Ready from Hell in the Morning.
So speaking of Nest, they say they're going to announce something big September 20th.
By big, do they mean a small device?
I don't know, but that's interesting because they haven't announced a new product in years.
Do you think it's
Yeah,
going to
a
have?
couple years?
So I'm really curious what it's going to be.
Do you think it's going to be something with like a speaker?
No, because
probably not.
they're owned by Google, and Google's pushing Google Home.
Oh,
Yeah. They'll be like, it's an 8K camera now. That's what they'll push. 8K security camera.
I sure hope not. Oh, speaking of 8K, Sharp announced an 8K television.
Yep.
I'm like, whatever. I'm not impressed by 8K at this point since I don't even have 4K yet.
Well, no one will be impressed by 8K because it's too high resolution to even notice a difference.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say too. What
Eight-
can you consume that's 8K right now?
8K,
Nothing.
8K is good for movie screens.
My wife works
is.
at
That's it.
UVU, who has zero budget for like the cameras that they buy, and the highest end camera that they use is a 6K camera. But that's mainly for just pushing in, so they can film something, and they can only have one camera, and they only need one camera because they can push in
Yeah, they
to
can
1080.
zoom into the yeah.
But like, there's 0 point to yeah.
So Sharp even calls it ultimate reality with ultra-fine details even the naked eye cannot capture.
Yes. Ours is so good that you won't even notice.
So you gotta wear-
Exactly.
the naked eye can't capture it. I'm not going to be wearing goggles, so...
Jeez.
So
I'm
the
gonna be wearing a
price
snorkel.
of this thing is $133,000
this is
for
weird.
85 inches of 8K television.
That'll look good in your high rise.
And guess what? There's no cable out there that supports it. So you need 4
Oh, that's
HDMI
right.
cables from the source to the TV to produce this 8K picture.
There should
4.
the next iteration of DisplayPort should support 8K, but you know what's not going to be on that TV? A DisplayPort port.
Exactly. Not 4 HDMI ports though.
Jeez,
For one
that's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
source.
What would you
It's
consume?
for like a hotel in
that's 8K?
Dubai. That's what this is for. It's
Yeah,
just-
but like even in that, like what would you?
There's no content out there. There's probably nature videos like when HDTV first came out.
And if there is,
The only
we
way
can't observe it.
I
so-
could see one use case for the very wealthy, which would be two people in a super wealthy family want to watch something at the same time on that TV. You could do that thing where it shows two images at the same time with separate shutter speeds for glasses.
Oh,
and
you're
each
right.
image would be 4K.
I see.
That's the only use case scenario I could think of.
Yeah, but I see that wealthy family having two TVs.
Exactly. That's the yeah, you're right. So
I mean, that's
even,
two people
even
that
that idea is
do not
So we
want to
can
be
get
separated.
we can get two 4K TVs for $5,000, or this one 8K TV
you would need
for
4
$133.
4K TVs to get one 8K.
It's literally for somebody who just wants the novelty of being
Yeah.
able to say that they have an 8K TV.
Yep. And somebody's going to buy that. By the way, somebody will spend.
Somebody will,
$133.
for
Did you ever see that book that was for sale on Amazon that was like How I Made $71,000? And it's one book for sale for $71,000. Did you ever see that?
No. That's brilliant.
That's kind of funny.
We need to up it. How I made $500,000.
And then it's just
One
and then
book.
just have this book and then
The sequel to the first book.
dun dun dun.
Okay, we always seem to hit on electric cars at some point during at least every other episode. Cummins, of all people, the maker of diesel motors
Yep.
in your Ford trucks or in your Dodge trucks, and now currently some of the new Nissan XDs have
Yep.
V8 Cummins in them. They're doing an electric semi.
Yeah, they kind of scooped Tesla on that.
Well, they're going the Chevy Volt route.
Yeah, it's short range, but they've designed it basically for around town shipping.
Yeah,
You know,
Well, and I think they have plans of having it do long haul. They couldn't. I think they wanted to get this to market
first.
before Tesla, just to have it. People be like, oh, okay, because right now it's got a 100 to 200 range, like range for the battery, and they're supplementing it with a diesel engine that can give it 300.
Right.
And then you're cutting your diesel costs in half at 50%, which is what they're kind of advertising like this. You know, it's not the best, but here is this.
Well, and that's the thing with my dad. Drove long haul truck for about a year and a half, and he pointed out these things to me when he was doing it when we'd go driving just on the highway or whatever. Truckers will, for the most part, look for any way to squeeze out mileage anything they can find. If you drive by a semi-truck and you see that its hubcaps are flat, that is someone that installed a flat cover over their wheel well to cut down on that little bit of wind resistance.
Right.
Or if you see the ones that have the big tunnely looking things on the back of the trailer, it looks like four pieces.
It like comes in.
That's to cut down on wind resistance.
That's interesting.
Or if you see, what was another one? The mud flaps that you see that are grates, very small grates. That's to let air through the mud flap, but not the mud, because it saves that little bit of wind resistance.
Crazy.
So they're all about getting the most out of the mileage on their truck. And so if you can do something like this and cut down on their mileage by 50%, they're going to be all over that.
One of the main differences between this truck, though, and the one that Tesla plans is there's not automation features built into like for the Cummins truck.
Okay.
And Tesla's projections and their plans, they're out the gate. Their truck is supposed to go 200 to 300 miles, which that's pretty insane when you think of the loads, like the load weight that these semi trucks have to pull with an electric engine. How that works. So it's kind of a lofty goal there, but Tesla is also trying to work in automation in there. Their ultimate goal is driverless trucking. So anyway, which I can never fathom that. But
driverless. I mean,
there's a Simpsons about that.
I was going to say Simpsons did it years ago. Speaking of automated.
Yeah, this might not. A lot of people are like really excited, as am I, about self-driving cars, especially like with Uber, self-driving taxis and stuff. But I actually found a really interesting article, and you can find it in the show notes, about how self-driving taxis might not be... We need to maybe temper our expectations of this, because if you think about it, think of like any public space that people share, right?
So all public space.
Yeah. Well, no. What I'm saying is like more specifically, like think of like outhouses. Like when there's no other humans around, it's not something that you own as a person, but you have to share it with everybody else. And think
I
of how,
own it for that 10 minutes I'm in there.
Yeah, but
and a few minutes afterward.
But think of how trashy outhouses are. This article kind of compares once you take the driver away from the car, they have zero supervision outside of a camera, but nobody really cares about that camera. So it means that they probably won't hack and slash the car. But just think of how disgusting we are as humans.
Well, that's why Tesla's model is so much better, because somebody owns that car still. So they have an incentive to keep it clean and looking
True.
nice. And then they have the camera inside the Model 3 to see who messed it up, if somebody messed it up.
True. But that being said, this article kind of, they went out and they interviewed a couple of car rental companies, and they got back to them and just found how disgusting people actually are. They're talking used diapers were left in the car. Just people are just disgusting.
Jaron, was that you?
No, but never mind. Long story.
It's just kind of saying maybe that's what we have to look forward to, is these driverless taxis are going to be disgusting.
I
more
agree.
disgusting than an actual taxi in New York City with vomit and human feces in the back.
At least there are people in those taxis that have a level of what's acceptable.
They don't care. They don't wash those out.
Have you been in one?
No, I've never been to New York.
Oh.
all of my
Speaking
experience is from the internet and TV.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking from a complete lack of experience, I will say this.
I'm going off of stereotypes right now.
I'm going off of that show American Gods.
Ooh.
I don't know. I watched the TV show Taxi with Adam
back
something or something.
You would think that if the taxis become so unbearable, people will stop using them, so the market will correct itself and companies will actually have an incentive to clean them.
I will say this: if he's basing his article on what car rental companies go through, he's kind of doing apples to oranges there, because a taxi ride, you're in the taxi for half an hour to an hour or less. Rental cars, you're talking about someone who's used that car for days or weeks at a time.
And it's unsupervised.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, it might not be what we're expecting, but
it definitely has the potential to be gross for sure.
Yeah. Anywho.
Speaking of autonomous driving, the whole version 1 and 2 of those cars are going to freak me out. I will not trust them until they get to version 3 or 4.
Do you think we're going to go through what the original car drivers went through? When they first introduced cars and everybody was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? But then as soon as you take away the driver, we're going to be in the back seat having a miniature panic attack.
Yeah, it takes mass adoption to make this work.
Yeah.
The whole driverless idea takes mass adoption, because it only takes one person not driving, not being in a driverless car, to screw up the whole thing for everybody on the road. Domino's actually. Have you seen the Domino's and
Yeah.
Ford? So Domino's and Ford paired together, and they they made
autonomous delivery vehicles.
autonomous pizza delivery. You can. I think they're actually beta testing it or alpha testing it or something right somewhere.
So when are we expected to go like full autonomous?
Years.
Never.
It'll be years.
you will
years,
always
decades.
have paranoid people that will never.
Yep.
Hold on, let me add
And
this
here's-
one to the list
And
of
here's
the.
here's the sad thing is,
Yeah, never.
I'm betting that as time goes on and more people do autonomous vehicles, the problems on the road and the accidents are going to be caused by the people who choose not to
Yeah.
do autonomous vehicles.
See, we ostracize them socially. We have the Amish that didn't accept cars and technology.
We ostracize the Amish?
Yeah, they're on their own
I
place
don't-
with
I
no
don't
technology.
They ostracize themselves.
Yeah, well, same thing. Same with the people that don't accept technology, autonomous cars. I'm sorry if there's any Amish people listening. I actually don't mean any of
I'm
this.
pretty sure there
If they're
aren't
listening,
any.
they're breaking a couple rules.
There's
Yeah.
an Amish person listening to a show called The Gadget Spot.
Well, they have the.
Please write us if there are any.
I just want to see what the technology is like.
You
That's
tell
not what
that
they-
Owen
that's
he's
not
a
what they
dang
sound
fool.
My name is Holgar. I am Amish. Thank you.
They have a period of time where they can go out and break
That's
the
true.
rules.
That's true.
So I apologize if I have offended any Amish.
It is okay, Owen.
But what
people.
the point I was getting at was the autonomous vehicles take away, or at least when they're good enough, they will take away all human error. And so accidents on the road will be a result of human error.
They also take away human choice. Like if I've got a pregnant mom in the seat and she's about to give birth, sorry, I'm going to be going 100 on the freeway.
Well, yeah.
You know,
I
and
don't.
I can't do that in an
I don't
autonomous
think,
car.
at least in our lifetime, I don't think we'll see cars that don't have an option for manual control.
Isn't that weird
don't
that
know.
at some point in time, 16-year-olds are going to go to the DMV and be like, why do we still have to take this test? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I
Like,
don't do this anymore.
I don't do this anymore.
That'll be weird.
It's like handwriting, right?
Oh, cursive?
Cursive.
That too.
Not handwriting in general.
Still
but
need to
yeah.
know how to write.
This is
Okay,
how
we
you
got.
do an
We're
A.
gonna, we'll do a lightning round real quick. Each of you pick one story that we haven't got to yet that you want to talk about, and we'll do a quick lightning round. Jaron first.
All right, so PS Plus and Xbox Live games for September.
I was hoping you'd choose that.
Yeah, so there are some good choices this month for both platforms. So PlayStation Plus, you have Infamous
Second Son.
Second Son on
Isn't that-
on
ooh.
PS4. It's a
Yeah.
very good game. You should download it. There's also some other ones, Strike Vector X, Rigs, etc., etc. So it's a good month for PlayStation. Also a good month for Xbox. Forza 5 for the
Yeah.
Xbox One.
For them car racings.
Yep, and you have Hydro Thunder Hurricane for Xbox 360, which is backwards compatible.
I'm
right?
actually
Right?
excited for Hydro Thunder because I played the crap out of that on the Dreamcast.
Yeah, that game was cool.
I liked Hydro Thunder.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
And Oxenfree as well, and Battlefield 3
Yeah.
What
for the
system did
second
you say
half
this
of the
was?
month.
Was
Xbox.
this-
Xbox,
Oh,
yeah.
So good games for both platforms. Download them if you have it.
James, go.
All right. Something I wanted to introduce because I'm actually kind of interested in this is I want to do the top 5 Google searches for the day today. First up is Kate Middleton. Apparently, she's expecting her 3rd child. Number 2 is Beyonce. It was her birthday. Number 3, Labor Day, because obviously today's Labor Day. 4 is Labor Day meeting. Well, people just want to find out what Labor Day means. Number 5 is the Montana fires, because apparently there's a bunch of fires in Montana, but you don't have to worry about it because nobody lives in Montana. Okay, I'm done.
Are we People Magazine now?
Yeah, that was interesting.
According to Google, Google's People magazine.
Yeah.
One day you're going to read that, and it's going to be us.
I tried to do it by...
Be
I
like-
tried to do it
No,
by...
that's bottom 5.
by
Be like, host of Gadget Spot goes crazy, kills everybody. that would get us in the top 5, but
maybe.
please don't do that though.
They would definitely not call it our podcast, though.
Too much exposure.
local podcast.
Yeah,
They would name it.
Local Utah podcast.
I tried searching by Google keyword, and I might have a better top 5 because I want to do like top 5 how-to searches in the last week or something like that. Or,
Top 5 searches.
but yeah, that was just the top 5
various
searches.
kinds. Cool. Owen.
Hey, so mine's not short, but I'm not going to talk about it very much. It's the net neutrality. So you know how that got all screwy with like duplicate submissions when the commenting opened up for net neutrality to basically tell this Ajit Pai guy that this is stupid. Don't change the net neutrality rules.
I don't like that guy.
Yeah, he's not good. Anyway, but there was all these fake submissions. People were like bots were setting up. They were duplicating. There was people that hadn't even registered that were like commenting, and so it was a big
Like for or against net neutrality?
Against. So for every positive comment, a negative one would show up. They basically tried to show that it's split 50-50 and make this some sort of like half the nation.
It's not split 50-50.
It's not at all.
The consumer does not win.
No.
At all.
And so that's what this article talks about. It'll be in the show notes. It's actually kind of long. I only got about halfway through it before I actually fell asleep reading it.
How cute.
So yeah, I was like net neutrality. Anyway, so it comes with the TLDR disclaimer, but it kind of shows they hired a company or a third party company was put out there to kind of sort through the mess, and it still comes out, as we all know, that the public is largely against this. The masses, the people are largely against this. The people that know what it is.
So they're going to pass it, and it's going to...
So, yeah, they're going to ignore us again. They're going to ignore the people that know and understand what the implications of this are for a very small percentage of people that will become quite rich changing this.
I know this is kind of like how it is in America in general, but it just blows my mind how many people don't know what it is, and they're enacting a law based off of that. Like, it blows my mind that people don't understand the repercussions of this.
Nah, it's called voting along party lines. You just vote what your party votes or whatever they tell you to do.
It's not good.
Anyway, so that's mine. Go ahead, take a second to get enraged like I did, and then fall asleep to the article like I did as well.
So when's net neutrality going away?
They didn't say. There's a lot of stuff he has to cut through to get rid of it. It's already been pretty eviscerated as far as like the rules and regulations, what ISPs can and can't do. He's already relaxed a lot of the rules that were already in place from the.
Well, there's a lot of companies that just didn't listen to it in the first place, like AT&T with unlimited plays on music and stuff.
Yeah, true that side of it, but like as far as selling client data and stuff like that, for ad purposes and stuff, they couldn't do that, and they can do that now without any type of consent. They can anyway. Yeah, so that's my one.
All right, and I have one here. An article I found on this is an article that was on Kotaku, but it's been talked about in various places. But at the Game Developer Conference last week, I think it was at Gamescom. Anyway. A developer whose name is Jennifer Shirrell, she goes by @Gaomi on Twitter. She posted this question out to the Twitterverse, said, "Hey game devs, tell me about some brilliant mechanics in games that are hidden from the player to get across a certain feeling. Examples such as in Doom and what was the other one they mentioned? BioShock, I think? No, Assassin's Creed. Your last shred of life is actually worth more hit points than earlier in your life bar, so you can barely survive and get that good feeling of, yes, I barely made it." And
that's a good example.
Yeah. And so several game developers came out and said, here's a few things that we do in our game mechanics to kind of trick the player into either thinking they're doing really well or not.
I feel lied to.
Yeah, exactly. In Half-Life 1, if facing more than 2 enemies, only 2 would actually attack. The rest would run to random locations and bark lies like flanking. And here,
genius.
Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 bosses follow a specific time signature along with the music for their attacks. The hardest boss in the game breaks that flow. So he's hard, not only because they make him hard, but also because you start to develop rhythm to the music and the bosses, and they change that on this hard guy. Let's see. Another one is this guy. Doesn't say what game he worked on, but he says we have a term called coyote time.
Wily E.
Yep. For when a player walks off a platform ledge and presses jump too late, but the jump still works. So they give you that little bit of time to jump.
I need all of these.
Yeah, right.
This is how I play.
And then a guy that worked on the System Shock game, he says, in System Shock, we made your last bullet do double damage, kind of like the last bit of health thing to make you feel like you survived. So anyway, it's a very interesting article, and there's a lot more examples of it other than what's in this article. You can follow the whole thread on Jennifer Shirrell's Twitter, but this article kind of points you in that direction. I just thought it was really cool.
That's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
They trick us.
All right, and that's a question that I wouldn't even think to ask.
Yeah,
but
seriously.
It's cool to know.
See, I'm sure she figured it out because she develops games herself. So she has tricks I bet she puts into her stuff. So she figured, I'll ask everyone else.
So a quick PSA, the Apple event is September 12th.
Yep.
So watch out for that.
Announcing the new Apple TV there, huh? You think?
Maybe.
Yeah.
What
Probably
about
not.
the new iPhone?
No, it's rumored that it will be.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And the new iPhone.
New
of
Apple
course.
TV, new iPhone, new Apple Watch, probably.
iPad?
Nope.
They did the iPad last conference.
Yep.
All right, that's it. Thanks for joining us on the Gadget Spot today.
We'll see you on Saturday. Next Saturday. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
2 weeks from.
It's a couple of weeks out.
We'll see ya.
Okay. Oh, and take us
We
out.
hope you care.